Hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Derek at Distrotube is working on his own distribution, and today I'm going to take a look at it. So let's get to it. Right now, I'm in my bare metal computer and I'm running Arch Linux with the awesome window manager. And I'm going to open up the Brave browser. Let's open it up and let's type in SourceForge. Once you arrive on the web page, you're going to go into the search field and type in DTOS, and there it is right here, DTOS. Click it on, and let's scan down. So now he worked on DTOS 2 years ago. Okay, you can see at the bottom here, these two ISOs, they're from 2 years ago. But what he's working on now, it's a brand new project. So he's not extending these or adding to them. It's brand new. He put out an ISO on the 13th, another one on the 16th, and another one yesterday. And he's calling them alpha because it's still in the testing stage. He's working out the kinks and the bugs and making changes to them. And he's going to be putting out another one either tonight or tomorrow. And it's recommended that if you're going to go through an install, either do it in a virtual machine or use it on a extra computer that you have that you're not using. Don't use it on your main production computer because these ISOs are still in the testing stage and he's still working out bugs and kinks. His ISO doesn't support legacy BIOS, so you need a computer that has UEFI or a virtual machine where you can turn on the UEFI settings. So I've already downloaded this one from the 17th. Remember, these are alphas. They're only testing ISOs. They're not the finished product. Like I said, I already downloaded this, so I'm going to go through an install in Virt Manager, my favorite virtual machine software. I'm going to close the Brave browser, and I'm going to go to my VM workspace, and I'm going to open up Virt Manager, and I'm going to click on New, and there's a reason why I'm going through this. Normally, I don't go through this part. I do this part off camera. I'm going to go forward. Let's just bring that there. I'm going to go browse. But there's a reason why I'm going through this. And there's the April 17th ISO. And I'm going to unclick this. And I'm going to type in Arch. And I'm going to click this on. And I'm going to go forward. And I'm going to give this 4 gigs of RAM. I'm going to give this 4 CPUs. I'm going to go forward. I'm going to give it a 50 gig hard drive. And I'm going to go forward. And I'm going to change the name of this virtual machine to DTOS 17, and now I'm going to take my caps off. And normally at this point, this is the reason why I'm showing this on camera. So if you decide to test out the ISO and you're using Virt Manager, normally I go to finish at this point, but now I'm going to click on customize configuration before install. So I'm going to click it on, then I'm going to finish it. I have to go down here and see how it automatically says BIOS. I got to go to this pull down menu and click on UEFI, just like that. And then I have to go down and apply it. So I'm going to click on apply. Now I can go up here and see where it says begin installation. Let's just make that full screen. Right here where it says begin installation, now I can click it on. And now it's creating the virtual machine. And that's the reason why I went through this, so that if you decide to test out the ISO and you're using Virt Manager, you know where to go to turn on the UEFI settings. I'm going to make this full screen and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so we booted onto the ISO, and what I'm going to do is make the font larger. I'm going to do set font tier -132B. And of course, if you've been following my channel, you know I always do this. Now I'm going to clear the screen. And to start the installer, you're going to type in DTOS install. There we are. DTOS install. Okay, so now I'm going to click a 1 and hit enter. And you have the option of doing ButterFS or ext4. So normally when I go through my Arch Linux installs, regardless of whether I'm doing a manual install or I'm using Arch install, the automated Arch Linux installer, either way, I always do ext4. But here, he has the option of ext4, but option number 1 is ButterFS, and he has in brackets it's recommended. So let's go with that one. So I'm going to type in a 1, and I'm going to hit enter. Now it's asking, and you can see at the bottom, it's asking disk encryption. Number 1, yes, recommended. Number 2, no. So I've gone through several installs with the April 17th ISO and with the other ISO that was released on the 16th of April, and I even went through a few installs on with the April 13th ISO, and both are working. I've tried both and the installs work. So today I'm just going to encrypt it. I'm going to press 1, but if you don't want it encrypted, you can press 2. Let's hit enter. Now we can choose a kernel. I'm just going to go with the stable Linux kernel, number 1. I'm going to hit the 1 and hit enter. Now at this part, I'm going to give you a warning. When I've been installing other Linux distributions with other installers, if you see at the top there, it says English US.UTF-8. So with other installers, that would be the default. All you have to do is hit enter. And when I first installed DTOS with the April 13th ISO, that's what I did. I thought that was the default. I hit enter. And I went through the whole install. Everything worked. And when I rebooted, I couldn't unlock my computer. My virtual machine was encrypted and I couldn't unlock it. And then I realized you can't do that. So don't hit enter at this point. What you want to do is use your arrows and scan down, or you could use your page down or your arrows down. And I'm going to go down to EN because the locale at top, that's an example. That's not the default, as far as I know. Because when I did that, and I tried it several times, I went through several installs, and at this point, I always hit enter, and the install finished, and when I rebooted, I couldn't unlock my computer. I think I'm repeating myself now. So you use your arrows or your page down, and I'm going to go to English Canada UTF-8. Now I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now, and again, when I was having trouble, again, at this point, I just hit enter. And the system couldn't read I couldn't unlock my system. So at this point, again, don't hit enter. You can use your arrows, your down arrows, or page down. So I'm just going to use page down and go really fast to the bottom. Then I'm going to use my up arrow and go to US, because this is for the keyboard. So my keyboard layout is going to be US. And I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to use the / and I'm going to type in Eastern. Now I'm going to use my arrows to go up and down. Okay, and I'm going to click Canada Eastern. Now it's asking me for a host name. So my host name is going to be DTOS-17. You can make it whatever you want. And I hit enter. Now it's asking me for my encryption password. So I'm going to put a simple encryption password in. And I'm going to retype it. Now it's asking me for a root password. I'm going simple again. Now it's asking me for a username. So I'm going to do mensch. And I'm going to put a password in for mensch. And I'm going to repeat my password for mensch. So it's asking you, would you like to install the DTOS Qtile desktop? Yes, it's recommended, or no. I'm going to click on the number 1 for yes. Please review the above. Okay, so let's look at the above. Summary of configuration choices. Disk is dev VDA. File system is Btrfs. Encryption is yes. The kernel is stable Linux kernel. Locale is English Canada, UTF. DMAP is US. Time zone is Canada Eastern. My host name is DTOS-17. My username is mensch, and you can see I have a LUX password, a root password, and a user password. And I'm going to install the DTOS desktop. Okay, so based on the configuration, would you like to install DTOS? 1 for yes, 2 for no. So let's do a 1. Hit enter. It's giving you a warning. Do you wish to proceed? So click on 1 for yes, hit enter, and now it's going through the install. So I'm going to pause the video and come back when it's ready to reboot. And this is going to take about 10 minutes. So don't go away. I'll be back. Okay, finished. And it didn't take that long. I don't even think it took 10 minutes. Never even got out of my chair. And it's a full, complete installation of Arch Linux with Derek's configuration files. And as you can see on the bottom there, it says installation of DTOS completed. You may now reboot the computer. Now I've gone through quite a few installs, maybe between 7 and 10, using all the 3 ISOs, the April 13th, the 16th, and the 17th. And a couple times when I got to this stage, the notice was a failed install. And at the bottom here, it said failed to install the system, that there was a problem with one of the mirrors. So the way I fixed it was, I started from the very beginning and went through another install, and then it worked. And that happened a couple times to me. And it's no fault of Derek's. It's not his fault, or there's not any problem with his ISO or his scripts. It has to do with Reflector. So if you don't know, Reflector is a Arch Linux application that automatically selects fast and good mirrors for you. And I don't use Reflector when I go through my installs, regardless of whether I'm doing a manual install of Arch Linux or I'm using Arch Install, the automated Arch Linux installer. I always bypass Reflector because I like to pick my own mirrors. But anyways, this script is using Reflector. And also too, recently, maybe about a month ago, I did a video on Chris Titus because he also has a script that will install a fully functioning Arch Linux system for you. And his is with a DWM, Dynamic Window Manager. And he also uses Reflector to pick the mirrors for you. And also too, if you use the automated Arch Linux installer, Arch Install, it also uses Reflector unless you bypass it like I do. Oh, it's no fault of Derek's, or there's no problem with the script, but I'm just telling you that if you go through an install and you have a failed install and it says something about failed to reach one of the mirrors, start from scratch and start over again because it will work. So anyways, I talked too long about that and I repeat myself too much. So let's reboot and log into the system. Oh, I'm in Vert Manager, so it's doing this, so I have to make this full screen again. DTOS. So at this point, it's asking for my encryption password, and there's two ways to do it. If I type the password in now, you're going to see an asterisk for every letter or number that I type in. And if you think someone is standing behind you and looking over your shoulder, you could press tab and then type in the password. If you press tab, there won't be an asterisk for every letter or number that you type in for your password. So you know what? I'm not going to press tab. I don't care if you see it. And put my password in, and I'm going to hit enter. It's just a simple password. And next, it's going to take you to the display manager or the login manager. And the login manager that he uses, or the display manager, is SDDM. And there we are. We're at the display manager or the login manager. It's really nice looking. Put my password in. There we are. We are in DTOS with the Qtile window manager. Now for me, no matter what installs I'm doing or window managers I'm using, I never use Conky. I'm not a Conky type of person. But I like his Conky, and for several reasons. I like the fact that it has the date, the time, the date, and the year in nice large print. But that's not really what I like about the Conky. What I like about the Conky is that it gives instructions here on how to use his Qtile window manager. Now I have my own configuration file that I use for Qtile, and one of my bare metal computers is running Qtile with my own configuration. And of course, I've done videos on that, and you can download my configuration file for Qtile from my GitLab repository. And I've talked about that. Well, not recently, but a year ago I did. And of course, my key bindings are different than his. So I like the fact that he has this conky here. It's not a full list of all the key bindings, but it's enough to get you started. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the resolution because I think it's hard to see the stuff up here. Now, the thing is that when I change the resolution, the conky is going to disappear. I don't know if that's a bug, and I should let him know about that. So what I'm going to do is open up a terminal, and it's going to do mod key enter, or the super key enter, and that's going to open up the terminal. I'm going to clear the screen, and I type in xrandr-s 1360 by 768. And this is the, let's close this. Shift mod key C closes it, and you can see the conky disappeared. You can see here you have your workspaces, and he has icons for his workspaces rather than numbers. He has 10 workspaces. Okay, now this, if you click on this, it's going to open up the Brave browser. Let's click it on, and there you have it. The Brave browser is automatically installed in his distribution, and let's close it. Shift mod key C will close it. This is the file manager, PCman FM. Let's close it. Let's click on this one. This is going to open up VLC. I'm not a great fan of VLC, but hey, that's there. And let's open up this one. This icon here is going to open up your terminal. Okay. Now, if you do Shift Mod key Enter, it's going to open up this Run Launcher. You can call up your programs this way. Okay, you can do a search. Okay. Here you can choose your themes, but I'm not going to change them. Let's just close this. Now, another interesting thing is up here, it says memory import error memory. So he knows about this and he's going to fix it. But if you click it on, it opens up HTOP. Isn't that nice? So in this virtual machine, I gave it 4 processors, 4 gigs of RAM, and the installer automatically matched the RAM for swap. I have 4 gigs of RAM. It gave it 4 gigs of swap. Now Derek is changing this. He's going to make it half. So in the next ISO that comes out, or the ISO after that, I'm not sure if he said it was the next one or the one after that, he's going to be changing it so that the installer is going to give you half the swap that's in your RAM, which makes more sense, right? Because you don't need to duplicate your RAM. And so it's running at 529 gigabytes of RAM. It's a little bit higher than the way my Qtile runs, but he has more stuff running in the background than I do with my install of Qtile. Let's close that. Shift Mod key C will close it. Like I said, this note here is an error, but he's fixing it. He's aware of it. You click it on, opens up HTOP. Now this one has an error in it, import error CPU. And if you click it on, nothing happens. But again, Derek is aware of it and he's working on it. He's going to be fixing it. Now, if you don't like these icons here, these are the workspaces. They're actually in Qtile, they're called groups. What you could do is open up a terminal. And like I said, you can open up the terminal this way. Just click on this icon. And let's just get rid of that. Let's cd, can't type right, .config /Qtile / okay, let's ls it. So this is Qtile folder. And if you go into vim config.py, and let's just scan right down. You know what? Let's put some numbers in there. Set NU. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do type in color theme evening. There you go. I like that better. Sorry, I just want to make sure you can see the numbers, right? Let's scan down. If you scan down to 184, line 184, if you don't like those icons, you can comment it out, right? Put the hashtag or the number sign there. And you could activate line 183, which has names instead for the groups or for the workspaces. And I tried using that, but it took up a lot of space and went right across the screen. But if you just want to have the regular numbers, you could activate this one, take out the hashtag. So let's save it. And let's get out of there. And let's do Shift Mod key R will reset it. There we go. So now you have numbers. Okay, so let's close this. And now our workspaces are numbers. That's how you do that. And also he has fast fetch installed. So let's open up a terminal again. Let's just use this. Now you can open up the terminal with super key and enter, or you can open it up here, which I already showed you, but I'm going to show you again. Okay, and let's take a look at fast fetch is installed. And I'm going to bring it up, config neo fetch. Now, you're probably wondering why I typed in config neofetch. This is fast fetch. The fast fetch default config is going to show my IP address, and I don't want to show that on camera. Now you can go and change the configuration file, but I can't be bothered. So when you're using fast fetch, if you want it to view it with the same configuration as neofetch, you do that, and it works. But it's still fast fetch. It's not neofetch. Okay, it's just using the neofetch configuration. Well, it's not really a volume control. This volume icon, the M stands for muted, and right now there's a bug or a problem not functioning properly with my virtual machine Vert Manager. And once again, Derek is aware of it and he's going to be fixing it. Let's close this. Shift Mod key C will close it. And if you do Shift Mod key Q, it brings up this menu. Now, you can lock the screen. Let's try it. Okay, it's locked. And let's type in our password. And now it's not locked. Okay, we unlocked it. Let's do Shift Mod key Q, and we can log out, we can reboot, we can shut down, we can suspend, or we can quit. Now, quitting doesn't mean that you're going to quit Qtile or power down, right? Because shutdown is for powering down and off your computer. Quit just means it's going to take you out of this menu. We've gone out of that menu. That's all that's going to do. And that's it. In this video, I showed you how to install DTOS, and I took a quick look at it. And I have to say, I think it's a wonderful installer, or ISO, and it's still not in the final stages, and he's still working out some bugs and some kinks and adding things to it and taking things out of it. So it's not finalized yet. It's still in the testing mode. And I highly recommend you try it out either in an extra computer or in a virtual machine. Don't try it out in your main production computer. And remember, you can't use it on a computer or a virtual machine that has legacy BIOS. Your computer has to have UEFI, or you have to turn on UEFI settings in your virtual machine. And really, what I like about the installer is that it's simple. Now, I don't mean that it was simple or easy for him to make, but I do like it because it's simple. There's not a lot of choices there. It's not fancy with all kinds of graphics. I think it's really simple and really easy to use. Now, just so I clarify myself, I don't mean it's simple. I think it's a complicated thing. I wouldn't know how to make one. And I can see he's working really hard on it because I've gone quite a few times in the past few days. I've gone to his GitLab page, and he's making changes to the scripts throughout the day. Many times throughout the day, he's making changes to the scripts. He's adding things, taking things away, fixing things. Like I said, he made a new ISO on the 17th, on the 16th, and on the 13th. And it's a lot of work. Now, I never made one myself, but I can imagine it's a lot of work. And give Derek a thumbs up. And Derek, thank you for all the hard work that you're doing with your YouTube videos and your scripts and everything that you're doing for the community. I thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.